The Eerie Hotel. Chapter 1: Arrival at the Hotel. The Thompson family's weary minivan rolled through the winding mountain roads, shrouded in an ethereal fog that seemed to veil the world. The sun, dipping low on the horizon, cast an eerie orange hue across the landscape as they finally approached their destination, the seemingly tranquil hotel nestled amidst the mist. "Are we there yet?" piped up Emily, her voice breaking the solemn silence that had enveloped the car for hours. "Not far now, honey," Mrs. Thompson reassured her daughter with a smile tinged with exhaustion. As they pulled into the hotel's driveway, the exterior appeared welcoming, vines cascaded down the aged brickwork, the porch lights flickered a warm amber glow, and the wooden sign swayed gently in the evening breeze, bearing the faded letters that spelled out, "Whispering Pines Hotel." Mr. Thompson sighed with relief, stepping out of the car and stretching his stiff limbs. "This looks like the perfect place to rest for the night. Let's get checked in." Inside the lobby, a faint scent of old books mingled with a hint of lavender air freshener. The reception desk was adorned with flickering candles, casting dancing shadows across the polished wood. A middle-aged receptionist with tired eyes greeted them with a forced smile. "Welcome to Whispering Pines Hotel. How may I assist you?" Her tone was polite but held a hint of reservation. "We have reservations for the night," Mr. Thompson said, passing over his ID and credit card. The receptionist nodded and handed them a set of antique keys. "You'll be staying in rooms 203, 204, and 205. Enjoy your stay." As the Thompsons made their way to their rooms, a subtle unease settled among them. The air felt heavier, tinged with an inexplicable sense of foreboding that lingered at the edge of their awareness. "Wow, this place is kinda creepy," remarked Emily, clutching her stuffed rabbit tightly. "It's just old, sweetie," Mrs. Thompson reassured her, though even she couldn't shake the feeling of disquiet that had settled in her chest. Entering their rooms, they found themselves greeted by a peculiar arrangement. The furniture seemed slightly askew, and the paintings on the walls depicted scenes that were both beautiful and unsettling. The rooms exuded an aura of faded grandeur, but something about them felt off-kilter. "I'll go freshen up," Mrs. Thompson said, trying to mask her apprehension. "Meet you both downstairs for dinner in half an hour." The family nodded, each retreating into their respective rooms. Alone in his quarters, Mr. Thompson unpacked his belongings, the sense of unease growing with every creak of the floorboards and every flicker of the dim lights. As the Thompsons settled in, a subtle shift occurred. The hotel seemed to breathe, its walls harboring secrets that whispered in the silence, hinting at something sinister lurking within. The tranquility of the fog-shrouded night outside clashed with the eerie ambience within the hotel's walls, setting the stage for the unfolding of an unsettling night. And as the first shadows of evening descended, the hotel began to reveal its true nature, cloaked in darkness and secrecy, ready to plunge the Thompsons into a night they would never forget. Chapter 2: Emily's Discovery. The hotel corridors seemed to stretch endlessly, a labyrinthine maze of dimly lit passageways adorned with antique paintings that gazed down with an uncanny intensity. Emily's curiosity, fueled by the eerie ambience of the Whispering Pines Hotel, drove her to explore the uncharted territories beyond their room. As she tiptoed down the hallway, the soft click-clack of her shoes echoed against the weathered wooden floor. Her small hand brushed against the intricate patterns of the wallpaper, feeling the faint texture beneath her fingertips. Shadows danced, cast by the flickering candlelight that lined the walls, creating haunting silhouettes that swayed with her movement. Curiosity led her to a door adorned with an ornate brass knob, its surface painted with delicate floral patterns. Without hesitation, Emily turned the handle and pushed the door open, revealing a room that appeared deceptively ordinary at first glance. Sunlight filtered through lace curtains, bathing the room in a warm, golden glow. Stuffed animals adorned the bed, a rocking horse rested in the corner, and a porcelain doll sat on a shelf, its unmoving eyes seemingly following Emily's every step. "This looks like a fun room," Emily whispered to herself, feeling a sense of relief wash over her after the foreboding atmosphere of the corridors. Yet, as she stepped further into the room, a subtle shift occurred. The sunlight dimmed, the air grew colder, and the once peaceful atmosphere twisted into an unsettling stillness. The door behind her creaked shut with an ominous finality, sealing her inside. Confusion flickered across Emily's face as she spun around, her heart pounding in her chest. The room that had seemed innocent moments ago had transformed into a nightmare tailored to her deepest fears. The stuffed animals contorted into grotesque shapes, the rocking horse's gentle sway turned into an erratic and unsettling motion, and the doll's porcelain face contorted into a sinister grin. "Mom! Dad!" Emily's voice quivered with fear as she rushed towards the door, frantically turning the knob, but it refused to yield. Panic surged within her as the room seemed to morph, the walls closing in, trapping her in a nightmare of her own making. Outside the room, Mrs. Thompson's heart skipped a beat as she noticed Emily's absence at the dinner table. "Where's Emily?" she asked, scanning the room in concern. Mr. Thompson's brow furrowed. "I thought she was with you." Realization struck them simultaneously, and a sense of dread washed over the family as they realized Emily had wandered off alone. Without wasting a moment, they dashed out of their rooms, racing down the labyrinthine corridors in search of their missing daughter, the hotel seemingly alive with an eerie energy that guided their frantic pursuit. As the Thompsons scoured the halls, the hotel's malevolent intent began to unravel, ensnaring Emily within a room that twisted reality to match her deepest fears, setting the stage for a nightmarish ordeal that threatened to tear the family apart. Chapter 3: The Labyrinth Unveiled. Panic surged through the Thompson family as they sprinted down the corridors, calling out Emily's name in desperation. The once familiar hallways seemed to twist and bend, changing direction with each turn, disorienting them as they attempted to navigate the maze-like hotel. "Emily! Where are you?" Mr. Thompson's voice echoed, his heart pounding with fear and urgency. The oppressive silence that met their cries only heightened their anxiety. Mrs. Thompson's palms grew clammy as she clenched her fists, trying to suppress her rising sense of dread. "She couldn't have gone far. We need to find her." Their voices reverberated off the walls, bouncing back in eerie echoes that distorted their surroundings. Each door they tried seemed to lead to a different part of the hotel, a library filled with ancient tomes that whispered incomprehensible secrets, a ballroom where spectral dancers twirled in a haunting waltz, and a hallway lined with portraits that seemed to watch their every move. As they stumbled upon yet another intersection, they realized something was dreadfully amiss. The layout of the hotel had changed. Doors appeared where there were none before, hallways shifted, and the familiar faded wallpaper seemed to morph into unfamiliar patterns. "This isn't possible," Mrs. Thompson muttered, her voice trembling. "How can the hotel change like this?" Mr. Thompson's jaw clenched in frustration. "It's like the hotel is toying with us, separating us intentionally." Their unity fractured as the hotel's sinister design drove them apart. Mr. Thompson found himself lured into a room that bore hauntingly familiar decor, a recreation of his childhood home. Memories flooded back, memories he had buried deep within, memories of a tragic event that haunted him to this day. The room twisted, shifting into a haunting replica of the day his family was torn apart. Shadows danced around him, manifesting the faces of loved ones lost, the guilt of the past gnawing at his soul. Meanwhile, Mrs. Thompson stumbled into a disorienting maze, a labyrinth of shifting walls and endless passages. Claustrophobia tightened her chest, each turn leading to a dead end or an illusion of escape. Her breaths quickened, and the walls seemed to close in as her phobia threatened to overwhelm her. In their isolated nightmares, the Thompsons grappled with their own demons, each room tailored to exploit their deepest fears and regrets. Time lost meaning as the hotel toyed with their psyche, the family's unity their only hope against the malevolent forces manipulating their reality. The once optimistic hope of reuniting faded into a distant dream as the family became ensnared in the labyrinthine corridors, each room presenting a unique terror that isolated them from one another, setting the stage for a night of harrowing trials and self-confrontation. Chapter 4: Emily's Battle. Emily's heart raced as she found herself trapped within the nightmarish room that had morphed from innocence to horror. The plush toys and familiar furnishings had contorted into twisted versions of themselves, casting eerie shadows against the walls. Dread clutched at her chest as she realized she was alone, separated from her family in this surreal nightmare. "What's happening? This isn't real," Emily whispered to herself, her voice trembling in the oppressive silence that hung thick in the air. Her gaze darted around the room, searching for any sign of familiarity amidst the distorted objects that seemed to leer menacingly at her. The once cherished stuffed animals now bore grotesque expressions, their once comforting presence now instilling fear. As she cautiously stepped forward, the room seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. Shadows danced along the walls, elongating and contorting into eerie shapes that seemed to beckon her deeper into the nightmarish landscape. A flickering light drew Emily's attention to a corner where an old music box sat atop a dusty table. Its once enchanting melody now sounded discordant and haunting, sending shivers down her spine. Tentatively, she approached the music box, its intricate designs tarnished with age. With a deep breath, Emily reached out and hesitantly wound the key, the eerie notes reverberating through the room. Suddenly, the shadows coalesced into ghostly apparitions, manifestations of her childhood fears. "Stay away." Emily's voice quivered, her courage waning as the spectral figures advanced toward her, their ghostly forms floating closer with each step. Images from her past flooded her mind, memories of the darkness that had plagued her dreams, fears she thought she had left behind. Yet, in this haunting realm, they had come to life, confronting her with an intensity she had never imagined. Gritting her teeth, Emily forced herself to confront the eerie entities, a surge of determination rising within her. "You're not real. I won't let you scare me," she shouted, her voice echoing through the surreal room. Summoning every ounce of bravery, she dodged the ghostly figures, maneuvering through the shifting shadows with agility. Fear threatened to overwhelm her, but a stubborn resolve burned within her, fueled by the desperate need to find her family. With each step, she pushed back against the nightmarish apparitions, refusing to succumb to the haunting visions that sought to paralyze her with terror. She dodged, weaved, and confronted her fears head-on, determined to navigate this surreal landscape and find a way back to the safety of her family. As Emily battled the eerie entities, her courage and resilience became her only allies in the surreal battle against her childhood nightmares, forging a path towards reuniting with her family in the face of the malevolent forces that threatened to consume her. Chapter 5: Cryptic Messages. Amidst the disorienting maze of the Whispering Pines Hotel, the Thompson family's hope flickered like a fragile flame in the enveloping darkness. Separated by the labyrinthine corridors, each member struggled against their own unique nightmares. Yet, amid these trials, a glimmer of potential salvation emerged in the form of cryptic messages left behind by previous guests. Mrs. Thompson stumbled upon a worn leather-bound journal nestled within the recesses of an antique dresser. Its cover was etched with faded symbols, giving it an air of arcane secrecy. As she flipped through its pages, handwritten entries revealed the haunting experiences of past guests, their words a chilling testament to the hotel's malevolent nature. "The walls shift, the corridors deceive. Trust not the sights you perceive," read one ominous entry, penned in trembling script. "These halls hold secrets untold, beware the whispers, let truths unfold, another warned in cryptic rhyme. The pages bore witness to the terror that had gripped those who had crossed the threshold of the hotel, recounting their futile attempts to escape and the spectral entities that haunted them at every turn. "We're not the only ones," Mrs. Thompson murmured, her voice strained with a mixture of dread and determination. Meanwhile, Mr. Thompson discovered a series of faded photographs tucked away in a forgotten corner. Each image captured a different part of the hotel, yet upon closer inspection, anomalies became apparent, subtle discrepancies and distortions that hinted at the hotel's twisted reality. "These photos, they're altered somehow," Mr. Thompson muttered, squinting at the images in disbelief. As the family reunited briefly in a common area, they pooled their findings, a compilation of cryptic messages, haunting journal entries, and manipulated photographs. Unease weighed heavily upon them, but amidst the dread, a semblance of a plan began to form. "We need to piece together these clues, figure out what the hotel is hiding," Mr. Thompson asserted, his voice tinged with urgency. "We can't let this place trap us. There must be a way out," Mrs. Thompson added, her eyes scanning the collected information for any hint of escape. Emily clutched a tattered note found within a hidden compartment. "It says here, the key lies within the whispers." "What does that mean?" The cryptic messages seemed to intertwine, forming a tapestry of warnings and enigmatic clues. The family's determination solidified as they resolved to unravel the hotel's mysteries, knowing that time was a luxury they couldn't afford. With each passing moment, the hotel's malevolent intent seemed to tighten its grip, urging the Thompsons to unravel its secrets before they succumbed to the same fate. As the trapped souls who had left behind these cryptic warnings, armed with fragmented clues and a growing sense of urgency, the family embarked on a desperate quest, piecing together the fragmented truths hidden within the haunting messages, racing against time to decipher the cryptic warnings and find the elusive means of escape from the hotel's spectral clutches. Chapter 6: Unraveling the Past. In their quest to decipher the enigmatic messages and cryptic clues, the Thompson family delved deeper into the labyrinthine corridors of the Whispering Pines Hotel. Each step seemed to echo with the weight of history, the unsettling architecture offering subtle hints to a past shrouded in darkness. Mr. Thompson's keen eye caught the intricate designs etched into the hotel's walls, a tapestry of faded murals and weathered sculptures, each bearing symbols that hinted at an untold narrative. "There's a story woven into these walls," he remarked, tracing the faded patterns with his fingertips. The family gathered around an ornate fireplace in a forgotten lounge area, poring over ancient ledgers and faded manuscripts discovered within hidden compartments. The documents chronicled the hotel's origins, a tragic tale of betrayal, loss, and a curse that had plagued the establishment for centuries. "These records mention a forbidden romance," Mrs. Thompson murmured, her eyes scanning the yellowed pages. "It led to a curse that damned this place." The tale unfurled, a forbidden love affair between the hotel's original owner, Amelia Hawthorne, and a groundskeeper, Thomas Crane. Their clandestine relationship had incurred the wrath of a powerful figure, resulting in a curse that bound their spirits to the hotel, forever condemning it to a realm of darkness. As the family pieced together the fragments of the tragic narrative, they discovered hidden chambers within the hotel, a forgotten library with dusty tomes whispering forgotten secrets, a hidden passageway leading to an underground chamber shrouded in mystery. Within the depths of the hidden chamber lay an ancient artifact, an ornate locket adorned with intertwined initials. Its significance was unclear, but its presence seemed to resonate with the haunting tales that had plagued the hotel for generations. "This locket, it's connected to Amelia and Thomas," Emily whispered, her voice barely audible in the hushed atmosphere. The Thompsons uncovered forgotten diaries, letters exchanged between the star-crossed lovers, and ethereal whispers that seemed to reverberate within the chamber's walls. The stories of love and betrayal were etched into the very foundation of the hotel, their essence intertwining with the spirits that lingered within. The tragic history of Amelia and Thomas held the key to breaking the curse. The locket, a symbol of their forbidden love, held the power to free the hotel from its haunted state. "This is it," Mr. Thompson declared, his eyes alight with determination. "The locket may be the key to ending this curse." Armed with newfound knowledge and a sense of purpose, the Thompsons embarked on a perilous journey, determined to confront the hotel's tormented past, break the curse that held it captive, and free themselves from the spectral clutches that threatened to consume them. Chapter 7: Confronting Fears. Determined to break free from the hotel's malevolent grasp, the Thompson family braced themselves to confront their deepest fears. Each member steeled their resolve, knowing that overcoming these nightmarish challenges was crucial to their escape. Mrs. Thompson found herself in a room shrouded in impenetrable darkness. Her heart raced as she felt the walls closing in, suffocating her with an overwhelming sense of claustrophobia. Breathing deeply, she fought against the panic rising within her, knowing that succumbing to her fear would only strengthen the hotel's hold. "I can do this," she whispered to herself, her voice quivering. She groped through the darkness, inching forward with every step, her palms clammy as she reached out to find a way through the oppressive blackness. Meanwhile, Mr. Thompson confronted his haunting past, finding himself in a room that mirrored the scene of a past tragedy. The weight of guilt bore down on him as memories flooded back, moments he wished he could change, mistakes that haunted his conscience. Gritting his teeth, Mr. Thompson faced the phantoms of his past, their accusing gazes intensifying the turmoil within him. "I won't let you control me," he muttered, his voice tinged with determination. With every ounce of strength, he confronted the shadows of his regrets, determined to find a way forward. Emily navigated a room filled with towering figures that seemed to embody her childhood nightmares. The walls twisted and contorted, morphing into scenes from her darkest dreams. The eerie entities advanced toward her, their haunting whispers echoing through the room, threatening to consume her in a vortex of fear. "I won't be afraid," Emily exclaimed, her voice trembling but resolute. Summoning her courage, she confronted the spectral figures, each step forward an act of defiance against the terrifying manifestations of her deepest fears. The challenges intensified, each family member confronting their own terrifying trials tailored to exploit their vulnerabilities. They grappled with phantoms of guilt, terror, and unresolved trauma, testing their unity and resilience against the malevolent forces that sought to keep them captive within the hotel's spectral grasp. Despite the harrowing challenges, a stubborn determination burned within them. With unwavering resolve, they pressed forward, refusing to be defeated by the nightmarish obstacles, determined to conquer their fears and break free from the hotel's haunting clutches. Their collective courage and unity became their strongest weapon against the hotel's malevolent forces, each member drawing strength from the shared resolve to overcome their deepest fears and emerge triumphant from the nightmarish trials that threatened to consume them. Chapter 8: Malevolent Forces. The hotel's once subtle malevolence swelled as the night deepened, its intentions shifting from elusive whispers to tangible threats. Dark apparitions and shadowy figures began to materialize within the corridors, their ghostly forms flickering in and out of existence as they lurked in the shadows. Mr. Thompson's footsteps faltered as he encountered a spectral figure that seemed to materialize from the darkness. Its hollow eyes bore into his soul, emanating a chilling aura that sent shivers down his spine. "Who are you?" Mr. Thompson's voice quivered, his heart pounding with apprehension. The figure remained silent, its presence ominous as it loomed closer, an ethereal hand reaching out as if to grasp Mr. Thompson. With a surge of fear, he stumbled backward, his pulse racing with the realization that these Malevolent spirits sought to trap them within the hotel's haunted confines forever. Meanwhile, Mrs. Thompson navigated a corridor where eerie whispers echoed, their haunting words luring her deeper into the hotel's grasp. Shadows danced around her, morphing into ghostly shapes that seemed to whisper her name, beckoning her to embrace the hotel's cursed fate. "No. I won't succumb to you." Mrs. Thompson's voice echoed through the corridor, her defiance a fragile shield against the encroaching malevolence. Emily, separated from her parents, encountered a room where the walls seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy. Strange symbols adorned the walls, glowing with an ethereal light that filled the space with an unsettling aura. A sense of foreboding washed over her as she realized the room was a gateway to a realm beyond comprehension. "I have to find a way out." Emily's voice trembled with urgency as she frantically searched for an exit, the room's sinister ambience closing in around her. The family's attempts to reunite were thwarted by the hotel's spectral entities, each encounter escalating the sense of dread and the realization that they were pawns in a malevolent game. Desperate to escape, they resisted the spectral forces that sought to ensnare them within the hotel's cursed walls, their unity and determination their only defense against the encroaching darkness. As the night wore on, the malevolent forces grew stronger, their intentions more palpable, driving the family to the brink of despair. The whispers of trapped souls echoed through the corridors, a haunting reminder of the fate that awaited those who failed to break free from the hotel's sinister clutches. Chapter 9: The Climactic Showdown. The air crackled with an eerie energy as the Thompson family gathered in a dimly lit chamber at the heart of the hotel. The room pulsed with an otherworldly glow, casting elongated shadows that danced menacingly along the walls. It was here that the climax of their nightmarish ordeal would unfold, a final confrontation with the malevolent forces that held them captive. "We have to find a way to break this curse," Mr. Thompson declared, his voice tinged with urgency as he surveyed their surroundings. Mrs. Thompson clenched her fists, her determination unwavering. "We can't let this place consume us. There must be a way out." Emily nodded resolutely, her gaze darting around the chamber in search of any clue that might aid their escape. "We have to do this together." As they exchanged determined glances, an ominous presence manifested, a spectral figure, cloaked in darkness, emerged at the far end of the room. Its form flickered with an ethereal glow, radiating a chilling aura that sent a shiver down their spines. "You cannot escape," the haunting voice echoed through the chamber, its tone laden with an ancient sorrow. "Your fate is bound to this place." The family stood their ground, their unity serving as a beacon of defiance against the spectral forces. With a surge of determination, they confronted the apparition, their resolve unyielding against the malevolent entity's ominous proclamation. "We won't be trapped here forever." Mr. Thompson's voice resonated with conviction, his gaze locked with the ghostly figure. Suddenly, a glimmer caught Emily's eye, a faint glow emanating from the locket they had discovered earlier. "The locket," she exclaimed, a surge of realization flooding her. "It holds the key." The family rallied around the locket, its intertwined initials glistening with a faint luminescence. As they grasped it tightly, an ethereal energy surged, filling the chamber with a radiant light that pushed back against the darkness. The apparition recoiled, its spectral form waning in the face of the locket's radiant power. "No, this cannot be," it bellowed, its voice fading into a haunting wail. With unwavering determination, the Thompsons channeled their collective strength, infusing the locket with their resolve to break free from the hotel's cursed hold. The chamber trembled with the intensity of their defiance as the ancient curse began to unravel. In a blinding surge of light, the malevolent forces dissipated, consumed by the family's unity and determination. The spectral apparition faded into the ether, its haunting cries echoing one final lament before dissipating into the night. As the glow subsided, the chamber fell silent, a profound stillness settling over the once haunted space. The curse had been shattered, the hotel's malevolence vanquished by the Thompsons' unyielding resolve. Exhausted but triumphant, the family exchanged relieved smiles, a sense of relief washing over them. They embraced, their unity having been their greatest strength against the nightmarish forces that had threatened to trap them within the hotel's spectral grasp forever. With the curse broken, the hotel began to crumble, its spectral facade fading into the misty night. The Thompsons made their escape, stepping out into the cool night air, free from the hotel's malevolent clutches at last. As they left the crumbling edifice behind, a sense of newfound unity and resilience enveloped them. The harrowing ordeal had tested their bonds, but their collective courage had prevailed, leaving behind a haunting yet triumphant memory of their night at the Whispering Pines Hotel. Chapter 10: Escaping the Nightmare. The Thompsons emerged from the crumbling remnants of the Whispering Pines Hotel, their faces illuminated by the first rays of dawn. The air felt crisp and invigorating, a stark contrast to the oppressive atmosphere they had endured throughout the night. "We did it," Mrs. Thompson breathed, her voice tinged with a mixture of relief and disbelief. Mr. Thompson nodded, a weary but satisfied smile gracing his lips. "We faced our fears and survived." Emily clutched the locket, the source of their salvation, its intricate design glinting in the morning light. "We broke the curse together." As they stood amidst the remnants of the spectral hotel, a profound sense of unity and resilience enveloped them. The night's harrowing ordeal had tested their bonds, but their collective courage and unwavering determination had seen them through. Their steps carried them away from the fading echoes of the haunted edifice, the fog-shrouded mountains gradually retreating into the horizon. With every passing moment, the hotel's haunting memories began to fade, replaced by a sense of relief and newfound strength forged through adversity. "We'll never forget this," Emily said softly, casting a glance back at the vanishing silhouette of the hotel. "But we made it through together." As they journeyed back into the world outside the hotel's spectral confines, a transformative silence enveloped them, a shared understanding of the profound impact the night had left upon their lives. The road ahead stretched before them, leading back to the safety of reality. Though forever changed by their nightmarish experience, the Thompsons found solace in their unity and newfound resilience, carrying with them the memories of their harrowing encounter with the unknown. "We're stronger because of this," Mrs. Thompson remarked, a sense of quiet determination in her voice. Mr. Thompson nodded in agreement, his gaze reflecting a newfound sense of inner strength. "We'll face anything together." With the haunting memories of the Whispering Pines Hotel fading behind them, the Thompson family embarked on their journey forward, united, resilient, and forever bound by the transformative night that had tested their courage and unity, leaving an indelible mark on their lives. As they drove away, the echoes of their shared triumph reverberated in the distance, a testament to the enduring power of unity in the face of the darkest of nightmares.